Welcome back to Mind Over Movies. Today, we are very excited to announce that we are joined by the CEO of Cokey-Coler. He caught on to our whimsical ways on the show, and they're going to offer us a big check. Thank you for coming today, by the way.
Oh, well, I am just pleased to be here. I would like to present Mr. Isaac and Mr. Casey with this check for $2 from Coca-Cola.
Oh
Thank you,
boy,
Coca-Cola.
Casey, we'll just have to rip it up and take home our little pieces.
I know. What do you think we could buy with our Coca-Cola endorsement?
I'm going to go to Dollar General and buy another Coca-Cola. A man can never be too rich in Coca-Cola. Hey boys, rep what Coca-Cola you're drinking right now. I'm drinking Coca-Cola Zero.
I'm drinking regular Coca-Cola.
And I've got a good cherry Coca-Cola.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
God.
It looks like the CEO just left and our friend Saxon's here now.
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Introduce yourself, Saxonian.
Hello, I am Saxon. I, much like these two gentlemen, love movies.
Let's go.
And I am so pumped to be on today.
Awesome. Now, Saxon, you have a movie film outlet. I don't know what it's a website,
Yeah, it's a
technically.
website.
Well, tell us about it.
All right, yeah. So I recently started posting reviews on my website, DoctorPopcorn.net. So that's been my big project lately. I've been doing some reviews here and there.
They're very good.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
I will say also that you definitely stay on top of the major releases
Yes.
a lot better than Casey.
I do what I can. I try to stay caught up with the recent releases, especially around this time of the year with all the big awards players coming out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, I mean,
time of year.
Yeah. But that's really been my whole little thing lately. It's been kind of starting to gain a little traction, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm noticing. I don't know if it's because you're going out there and like really doing a push on social media, but I've been noticing a lot of podcasts are following me, and I'll look, and who's the mutual follower? It's Dr. Popcorn. Yeah,
right, yeah.
So I see that you're well respected in the film Twitterverse.
Right. Yeah. So far, so good. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for the tide to turn on me, so to speak, and I'll be like the target of like a bunch of discourse. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Did
but
you read Dr. Popcorn's review of?
I can't believe that he said that about Don't Look Up.
I feel like it's hard to get. Okay, this is why I think it's really hard to get canceled with podcasts and written word. Is like people have to like actually put in the effort to read more than like a thumbnail, you know.
Right.
So it's not contingent on canceling. It's not like the Nancy Reagan throat goat situation.
That is the dumbest shit.
Oh my god!
I think I love Twitter though for that reason though, because before yesterday we had no crowned throat goat,
Yeah,
now it's one of the worst people to ever live.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my god! Did you see what was it? He was the original Joker baby, Romero.
oh, Cesar Romero.
Cesar
yeah.
Romero was like, yeah, she was known as the best her throat game or something on the Warner Brothers lot. I was
Man.
There's a funny picture of like Frank Sinatra at the White House, and he's like giving a no to like Ronald Reagan, and he's holding Nancy Reagan. And before it was like a cute photo, but now people are commentating like, "Oh God."
Sinatra got that good from Nancy Reagan.
Sorry, all of our relatives who like the Reagans.
But yeah, sorry.
Grandma and Grandpa, I don't think you've been listening to the podcast yet. I feel like this episode's taking you out of it, though, if you do.
What an episode to come in on, though.
Yeah, for real. It's
Just
like,
talking about Nancy Reagan's throat game.
throat coat. That's what the title should be. Saxon, featuring Saxon throat coat.
We discussed who's the best head game in town, bro. God.
There's a comma in the title. You can tell Saxon's not the throat coat from that.
Oh god. Well, speaking of throat goats, did y'all watch any movies this past week?
I watched a film or two.
A film or two.
Oh, gosh.
Let's all get out our letterbox.
Or 3 or 4. Yeah.
Let's reach into our letterbox squares.
Look into the diary.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So, I, about a week ago, as we're recording this, I went back and watched Jane Campion's first film, Sweetie.
Oh.
I don't know if any of y'all have seen it or know too terribly much about it, but
I don't know too much.
yeah, I mean, it was her first movie. Kind of different from like things like The Piano or Power of the Dog. Even it's much more modern. I use that in air quotes because it came out in '89, but
it's not a period piece.
It's not a period piece, no. But it's like a tale of two sisters. One of them's very uptight. The other one is very mentally unstable. And it's kind of about the conflict with their family. It's very, very interesting. Very good. Solid debut from Campion.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Campion movie yet, so I still need to jump on this train. I know, I feel so uncultured right now. Power of the Dog will probably be my first. I probably will watch
Immediately
that.
go watch The Piano, bro.
I want
The Piano's great.
I love The Piano.
I've heard a spoiler for The Piano about
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to say it out loud for our listeners, but that's a bummer. That's a real because I imagine that's a very shocking sequence.
Oh, it is
to see.
The whole movie's had me floored. As soon as it started, I was like, "What the fuck?
What
the fuck?" I love that movie so much.
Oh, it's so good.
It is really good.
Do we want to rotate?
You want to round robin it or?
Yeah. I watched a debut yesterday too.
Oh yeah.
I watched the Coen Brothers' first movie, Blood Simple.
Nice.
And I some background on my relationship with Blood Simple. There used to be a really great store in town called Entertain Mart, and I used to always buy movies from there. And this was the last movie I purchased about 2 years ago, so I hadn't even opened it yet. So I cracked that bad boy open finally. It's still got a $9.99 sticker on it. But oh my god, if this isn't one of the finest like debuts like out there, like the premise is a husband hires a private investigator to kill his cheating wife. It gets a little bit. You see some blueprints. I think that the most obvious comparison to me would be something like No Country for Old Men, because I mean, while there's still humor in this movie, it's in smaller doses. It's more like you see the distinct characters that the Coen brothers write. Like I would say everyone is kind of giving it a really interesting turn. Emmett Walsh, I think is his name, as the private investigator, is the standout for me here.
It's fantastic.
He gives a really fun performance, but he's also scary. I love it. I love that in this movie you see the Coen brothers' knack for creating problems for each of the characters. Like there's stakes for every character to overcome. Like the private investigator, you get wrapped up in like his reasons for why he's doing what he's doing. The husband has this money that you get kind of fixated on, and the guy that Frances McDormand is having an affair with, you also get wrapped up in their storyline because they don't know everything the other person knows. And there's some like really cool instances of like dramatic irony where they don't know the full story and they're talking to each other, and you, the audience member, are like, damn it, this is just what happened. I don't know. I love that in films. I love the Coen brothers and their knack for tension. I do think that I enjoy their later movies more because there's that infusion of humor. I think that's what makes Fargo maybe like a GOAT for me as opposed to this, but I think this is a fine debut for sure. Throat goat.
Yeah, Fargo. It's got that throat game.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to.
Yeah, that wood chipper really.
Oh, yeah, it really.
I hate that.
Ate Steve Buscemi whole. I think.
Right. Man, there's like, I really only want to talk about 3 movies that I saw, so I'll quickly...
the other ones aren't even worth
Well, it's not that they're not worth it. It's just not as interesting as the other 2 that I watched. But one, I did a rewatch. I went to my second job that I work at Larry's. They my boss rented out a theater for all the employees to watch Gremlins together. It was like a private viewing thing that Cinemark's doing. And, I fucking love Gremlins. That's like a 10 out of 10 movie for me.
Yeah.
And so watching that in the cinema was pretty cool. And I picked up some things that I hadn't noticed before about it. And it makes it that much better. Gremlins is it's goated. It's absolutely goated. One thing I did notice, Kathleen Kennedy was one of the producers on that with Spielberg. And I'm just like, man... the game was rigged from the start, for real. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Just seeing her name just kind of put things in perspective for me. But the movie's solid. Fucking love Gremlins. And if you haven't seen Gremlins, what the hell are you doing with your life? Go watch Gremlins. Like, it's a great movie.
Yeah, Gremlins rules.
Gremlins rules. Fucking love Gremlins.
I haven't seen Gremlins.
You haven't seen Gremlins?
I know. I haven't even seen Gremlins 2, the new batch.
No! Okay.
Have you at least seen the Key and Peele sketch where they talk about... Okay.
Yes, of course.
That's a start.
I'm not completely uncultured. And I have seen the monologue in which that girl talks about her dad.
Okay, that is such
dying.
a weird... That came out of nowhere.
It's so strange.
I keep trying to dissect that scene. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the
Keep
day,
kids on their toes.
It's a cool monologue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's weird.
Have you guys seen that video on YouTube about Joe Dante, the guy who did the Gremlins movies? There's a really interesting video on him because he's always been kind of against the studio system. They talk about like Looney Tunes back in action as well because he went on to do that movie.
Right.
And honestly, fuck Warner Brothers is what the way it is. Fuck Warner Brothers Animation for doing my boy the Iron Giant dirty like forever.
Yeah.
For real.
You telling me.
You turn one.
All right. My next one is one I actually did a full-on written review for Dr. Popcorn on. I saw Belfast, the latest Kenneth Branagh film. And, I was worried it was going to be super Oscar baity going into it.
It looks like it.
Because it kind of looks like it, and it kind of is. But it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I liked it fairly well. I think Kenneth Branagh is trying some different things with this one that don't always work. But I think that, and this is clearly a very personal movie for him, it kind of works. A little bit better than I thought it would, at least. I don't know if it should have been shot in black and white. That's kind of one of my gripes with it. I'm like, it doesn't seem fully necessary, especially when there's been other movies in black and white this year where it does make sense, like Passing, for example.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are some interesting things that he does beyond that, at least. I don't know if y'all have any hot takes on Kenneth Branagh as a director or anything.
I'm confused about him as a director.
That's about how I am.
I like some of his stuff. Specifically, I think the best thing he did was, did he not direct the Hamlet movie that he
directed?
Yes,
yeah.
the
So that
4
one,
hour.
that one was probably his best directing work, I think. But everything else, I'm just kind of confused by.
Yeah.
I think he makes bolder choices than he can actually like take on. Like as a director, I think he's pretty like standard. I don't think that I've ever watched a film of his and gone like, this is incredible. I see why Kenneth Branagh needs to be behind the camera. I think that he gets really great performances out of himself, though. Like I gotta say, I like that was the main takeaway from Murder on the Orient Express for me, is that this guy, I mean, he's clearly trained in Shakespeare. Like he's clearly got a background because he's incredible in pretty much every role he plays. So Kenneth Branagh, the actor, love him. I love that he shows up in his movies.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever seen a Kenneth Branagh movie that blew me away. Even that 1996 Hamlet. I mean, like, I love that it's 4 hours. I love that it's the complete text. But I don't think he added anything to it that really elevated it past the script that's already really solid. Because Shakespeare. I mean,
exactly.
Do you remember all the bold choices he made with the framing and the camera in Thor?
Oh man,
That's a trip. You can't back that shit up very well. Like I don't think he can. Like
The music choices in Thor.
Oh god,
yeah.
it's so goofy. Like, I don't know. Ugh, whatever.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's all right.
Yeah.
I do want to watch Belfast though.
Yeah.
It looks interesting enough.
Yeah, I'd recommend checking it out. Like, I'm not going to go on the record and say it's anything amazing, but I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Okay.
I'll put it that way.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Do you guys have strong opinions about James Cameron? Like, do you think he's
Yes.
brilliant?
I think he is a madman in the best possible way.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree. That's the perfect way to sum it up for me. I think he is a madman. Yeah.
He's like a little cave creature, and he only comes out to show us the most visually stunning effects. And until they're readily available, he goes back and produces Terminator sequels. Speaking of Terminator sequels, though, I'm actually going to talk about the other two movies I watched because they're relevant to each other. I did a double feature last night. The Terminator, and then T2, Judgment Day.
Let's go.
By the way, can we talk about the word judgment and how it's spelled? How is it spelled, Casey, without looking at the word judgment?
Judgement.
Wrong.
Mm-hmm. There is no
E.
There's no E.
There's no second E.
That always trips me up. I'm always just very uncomfortable.
Judgment
Day.
Judgment.
That's how
Judgment.
I've been completely gaslighted. Like, this is my biggest Mandela effect
this your
thing
Joker
yet.
moment?
Like, I saw it in the movie last night. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna become the Joker 2019." Is it just me, or
is there an E in there? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
yeah, fucking insane. I'm sorry. I don't even think the Terminator matters anymore. Sorry. Let's just move on. No.
Welcome back to Mind Over Grammar.
Yeah. Welcome back to your favorite linguista. I became Italian for a second. I'm sorry, Luke.
Welcome back to Mind Over Meatballs.
But the Terminator, I think, I think it's got to be one of the strongest, directorial. I think it's his directorial debut.
It actually is not.
Whoa,
This might surprise you. His debut was a film called Piranha 2.
Oh,
I think I knew that.
Because he kind of got roped into it. Like, I think he was on crew at some capacity. I don't know really what. But they were like, "Hey, Jimmy, come direct this movie for us." And he was like, "Okay, why not?"
Direct this fucking fish.
Yeah.
Because I know he was like a set designer or maybe set painter for Dark Star, that beach ball space horror movie. And he was in the studios for a while as a hand. But this was Piranha 2. Don't get me wrong, big break. But I think the Terminator was definitely the studio testing him. Can you handle this project? And I think he brought so much heart and passion to it. I think it's an incredibly cheesy movie at times. Michael Biehn is giving the most hammed up performance of all time. You can't bargain with it. You can't reason with it. It will never stop until you're dead. It's fucking awesome. I love it so much. I miss his energy in 2, really. Yeah. But I think that he's absolutely brilliant. And I think that he's definitely one of those directors where I feel like he's never phoned it in, ever.
No.
I think Piranha 2 might be the closest. I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
But I think the fact that he doesn't talk about it, or that it's not one of the most widely talked about movies of all time, shows that he really does bring his all to everything. Because let me tell you, Terminator 2, we're always talking about those aliens, one of the most beloved films of all time. True Lies, I would even say.
Yeah, True Lies. I mean, that's pretty big for I don't even know what you would call a big studio action comedy.
Yeah. Technically a remake of a French movie, but
just wild.
I would be hard pressed to see someone who's more familiar with the French version than Cameron's version.
Well, I think it's because he treats every movie he makes like it's a passion project.
Oh yeah,
and he puts a lot of passion in everything.
I fucking love that.
Yeah,
because I think that even with Avatar, something that people scoff at now, go back to 2009 though. Like, remember what it was like when that movie came out. Changed the fucking
nuts.
Game. We had shitty 3D glasses for movies that didn't need to be 3D for like 6 years after.
Yeah, and then he comes out and it's like new 3D glasses. It's like, okay, these actually feel good on my face, and this movie is wild in 3D.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome. I will never forget that.
The fact that Titanic 3D is one of the best 3D films
God.
ever made is just insane. Like,
Titanic. Like,
are you kidding me? That piece should not be like a 3D like IMAX entertainment experience, but James Cameron loves the craft so much.
Yeah.
You know, he made it happen. I think that I'm surprised to learn that he's doing like so many Avatar sequels, because I think what's so brilliant about going from Terminator 1 to Terminator 2 is that he seems like he would only do a sequel if he had like a good idea, because Terminator 2 is the ultimate in the franchise movie. It's like you take everything that was good about 1, you ramp it up to 11, you change the stakes in interesting ways. Like in Terminator 1, you thought you knew all the rules. You thought, you know, our fate is determined, like predestiny. He flips it on its head in 2. There is no fate, as Kyle Reese said in the first movie. And depending on which version of Terminator 3 you watch, you'll find out in a new and completely different way how Terminator 2's message was apparently just bullshit the whole time. I feel like it would be redundant to talk about the points about these movies that work, like Robert Patrick and Arnold Schwarzenegger gave 2 of the back-to-back best villain performances of all time, and then Arnold, of course, coming back for 2 for one of the most surprising protagonist turns ever. Linda Hamilton also. I think that's where a lot of the Terminator sequels go wrong, is her lack of involvement in them. I felt like in these first 2 movies, she's definitely the heart of the series. Like, I don't know how we got it that Arnold has to be the element that returns in every movie, because I feel like John Connor and Sarah Connor kind of make more of a case.
Well, to be fair, he did say he will be back.
That's true. He kept fucking saying it.
He has to keep saying that.
And as long as he says it in the movie, you know that they will pay him enough to come back for the next one.
He will, in fact, be back.
I didn't realize how much of the Terminator is not like widely known by people who haven't seen it. I watched it with friends who had never seen either movie. People were surprised that he was a robot. Like, when it turns into the machine vision, they were like, oh my god, he's a robot? I was like,
that's the whole thing.
Well, apparently that's not widely known. So I got to watch with joy for the first time ever what it's supposed to be like in T2 when you get to that hallway scene and he drops the roses, get down. They were all like, what the fuck? I want that joy. I think my joy does come from watching people react to movies that I've seen 1,000 times.
Right.
For real.
My favorite one to do that with is Hereditary.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting to do that to Ken, because we watched Midsommar and she liked it enough that she's like, let's watch Hereditary. I'm not going to say a goddamn peep.
Yeah, don't say a single thing.
No. Because, that's great.
I just warned her, like, this is one of the only movies I had to turn off while watching it and come back to it, like, 3 months later or something like that.
Right.
Anyway, James Cameron's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He rules.
He rules. And I will be in the fucking theater for Avatar 2.
Yes.
3,
I'll
4,
be there.
and 5.
Opening night.
Opening night, yeah, for sure. The next movie I watched, I think me and Saxon can probably riff off. I've actually been interested to talk to you about it. Cause, yeah, I'm sorry, Isaac. Jane Campion's, we're bringing it back to her, The Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
Boy, this movie was great. I do have to ask you, because I'm like a fucking Western scholar. Do you think it's a Western?
See, I mean, like, and I did a review on this one as well. And I called
DoctorPopcorn.
DoctorPopcorn.net. Follow me on Twitter. And, like, I called it a Western in there. It kind of is. It's just not, like, your traditional Western. I wouldn't go in this expecting, you know, like, cowboys or, like, a whole bunch of, you know, gunplay or anything like that. But, like, it kind of is. I feel like it's the Western only done in a way that Jane Campion can bring it to us. Right. I think that's my answer. That's what I'll say.
I have very strong feelings about like what the Western genre like is and isn't, and to me it feels the Western feels a lot like the noir genre. The noir is people argue, are noir films even a genre? Because we can't have noir films anymore. They relegate that noir was a time period in which certain movies came out, like, started with like films like The Maltese Falcon, and went for about a decade or so, and then they just kind of quit. And that's the same thing with like the Western genre. It's like it's a very specific genre, and it kind of ended when Clint Eastwood fucking said it was, and he did Unforgiven, which is a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I think that Power of the Dog is so interesting, because it's a period piece in like late to the game, kind of like with the West. Like the West is getting tamed, and that's why I think Benedict Cumberbatch's character is infinitely more interesting to look through the lens. I'm so glad she said it specifically in 1925.
Yes,
because it is literally the end of that era, and he is like the last fucking cowboy or whatever, and. So a lot of the things that you can already pick out about his character, about I guess you would call it like the macho,
right? Yeah,
and the toxic masculinity is also viewed through the lens of he is probably angry that his his kind are like dying out, right. Which sadly they're still here, but still it's really interesting to look at it like that. And the screenplay is oh my god, she is probably just one of the best screenwriters of. I know it's based 100%. On a book, but this is a fucking great adaptation. I don't know anything about the book, but I just already know that this is fucking fire. I love how it's broken up into chapters, and I love how the film starts out focusing on one character or a couple of characters, and like each chapter we move to a different character, and then in the next chapter we're moved on from them, we're focusing on a different character, but the characters are still interacting, so it's basically like she's like, I'm going to go through their arc right now in this chapter, and then this chapter we're going to focus on their arc, and just the ending, insane ending. I love it. This is so fucking good. It's literally right up there with a piano. Like they're neck and neck between my favorite, that I've seen so far from her. It's awesome. I don't know.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I pretty much second everything Casey says. It is so good. It's written so well. If this does not win Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars, I will riot.
I will absolutely burn everything, bro. It's good.
It's that good.
Yeah. Please watch it, Isaac.
Yeah, I will.
You won't be let down at all. It's awesome.
Honestly, what did it for me the other day is I saw Jesse Plemons is in it, and I fucking love him and everything. I almost watched Jungle Cruise just because I heard he's in that.
That's the only reason I've ever been wanting to watch Jungle Cruise is because
he's
great.
Funny.
I mean, he does he have like a wild accent or something?
He's a German. He has a German accent.
Did you guys ever see Game Night?
Yes.
I thought okay, what's crazy about that movie is I think the plot's pretty subpar, but I think Rachel McAdams and Jesse Plemons are worth the price of admission alone.
They're fantastic.
That can't be profitable for
Frito-Lay. Jesse Plemons in that movie. That was the first time I think I ever really truly took notice of him outside of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this guy's got something.
Yeah. I love him, especially he's got a really good character in Power of the Dog. It's something a little bit different than he's used to playing, and he does it well. Yeah. And Cumberbatch as a villain, holy shit!
A villain?
He's kind of
he's just a very menacing guy.
Yeah.
All throughout the movie, he's I don't want to say anything without giving anything away.
Right, yeah, we don't want to give it away because the whole movie is spoilery if we talk about it.
Okay. We'll just say he's not a nice guy.
He's not the guy you want to agree with.
No.
Gotcha.
But he does a really good job.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been seeing a lot of discussion online about whether he was miscast or not. And I don't see how you can say he was miscast necessarily. But he's just not the typical guy you would think of in this role.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why it works so well, is because he's given a lot to play with. They're giving him a lot of really good things to explore. And I don't think you could really get that with your typical guy who would be in this role.
I think people think of him as Doctor Strange mainly.
Yeah.
And that's what probably kills it for the fucking Marvel heads out there. But I thought he was going to be our hero protagonist in the film. I didn't know much about it going in, but what he gave is 10,000 times better than what I ever could have expected. He is I mean, he's awesome. If he doesn't get any type of Oscar buzz, I'm going to be really surprised because I think the performance is amazing.
Right. I think
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's definitely in the conversation right now. I don't know if he'll win.
Probably not.
But that's only because like everyone's all gaga over Will Smith and King Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen King Richard yet. I was figuring that Garfield might be a strong contender just because the Academies love show business. And they also love people who are dead now. I feel okay. I'm not trying to dunk on like Bohemian Rhapsody or anything, but I feel like that's the main reason Rami Malek won is because a lot of that campaign was based around the fact like Freddie Mercury is no longer with us, and this is a tribute to him. Yeah. Even though Brian May is also coming out and showing that he's clearly not with the LGBTQ community. Did you hear?
Yeah, that was messed up.
I know. It's disappointing. Sorry, I didn't mean to get too far away from Power of the Dog.
Oh, hey,
no, you're good.
What was your rating, might I ask?
It was 4.5.
4.5.
4.5, yeah.
And I gave it a stone cold 5.
God,
coveted
dang.
5.
I did give a film this week a 5, but I'll wait again for my turn because I think you also gave the same film a 5.
I gave this film a 5 way back whenever I saw it. If it's the same one, I'm thinking it.
Way back, okay.
Way
you're
back
old
in
news,
the day.
man.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I just now got around to it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And without spoiling what that movie is, I do hope more people will catch up with it now that it is a little bit more.
It's on Hulu now.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
before we get to that, I'll share another film that I gave a 5 out of 5.
Let's go.
Which is a film that I actually watched for the first time ever. One that has long been on my list of movies I was ashamed that I haven't seen. And I finally crossed off yesterday. It is Apocalypse Now.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, man.
I want to so bad,
gentlemen. Let me tell you.
God damn.
I was not fully prepared for how this movie was going to kind of rock me. Because, like, I mean, I think we all kind of know, like, some of the stuff, like, you know, the I love the smell of napalm in the morning quote, and we know that's about Vietnam.
I know the bedroom scene.
I know Kurtz.
Yeah, the bedroom scene. Kurtz.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, Lawrence Fishburne gets his start in Apocalypse Now. I just learned that the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, Lawrence Fishburne. And I found out after I watched the movie, he was only 14 in that movie.
What the shit?
And, he's plays like a 17-year-old. And I was like, well, he's probably like in his 20s at this point. Nope, he was 14.
Shit.
But anyway, fantastic movie. Very different than what I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting kind of more of your typical Vietnam movie.
Like a war film.
Like just a standard war film. And you do get, like, some of those little bits here and there, but it's very much so more about the effects that war has on a person. And we see this kind of filtered through Martin Sheen's character, who's kind of our main guy, as he's on this journey to find Kurtz, which is Marlon Brando's character. It's just nothing like what I was expecting in a way. Very much so gets into the psychological aspect of everything, and I was just blown away by it. Nice. So, cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, I need to get on it so hard.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, there's the Redux version on Netflix now, but I
want to watch the original.
Me too. Yeah. I've heard that the Redux adds stuff that doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah, because I watched the original. I got like a Blu-ray of it a while back.
Nice.
And so I watched the original one. It has the Redux like with it because it's like a set. So I'll probably watch Redux at some point, but the original cut is just... I was so impressed.
Yeah. Dope.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you didn't...
I mean, I'll say that I did give 5 stars out to 2 movies. It was The Terminator and Terminator 2. I think that those are 5-star ratings. I mean, if you disagree with me about Terminator 2 being the gold standard for sequels, I mean, you can fight me.
I mean, I'm all about it.
Other than Terminator 3.
Well, yeah.
Rise of the Machines. And other than Terminator Genesis.
Oh, yeah.
And other than Terminator
Salvation.
Dark Fate. Oh, don't forget about Salvation.
Salvation is Terminator 4, technically, and that's if you're in your Terminator 3 timeline.
Right.
But a lot of fans ignore that because, you know, with that series, because that was going to be a trilogy, too.
Right.
Everything's been like a planned trilogy. Like, I think Salvation was a planned trilogy. They canceled it. Genesis was supposed to get, like, more Matt Smith or something in the sequel. Canceled it. And this one was
Fate.
probably... I think it's disheartening to hear that Dark Fate got back to the roots of the franchise, but to be honest, I'm glad it failed because I don't want to see them drag this shit out anymore. Like, I want it to be dead forever.
I think it's time to be done with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The James Cameron's involvement was clearly pivotal to that franchise succeeding, and in a producer role, it doesn't really matter. It's just for show, really.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'll just talk about the film that I really liked that I watched yesterday. I watched it yesterday.
Hey,
and it's been out for a while, and I gave it the coveted 5 stars. And that film is Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Fucker, I saw it's on Hulu. I gotta watch it.
Isaac, you gotta see Pig.
Okay, I always catch up in December.
I know. So like I was expecting to like it right going in, but I had certain expectations of it. What I got is nothing like I expected. Nothing you could ever fucking predict it would be like. The world building, it shows you, something that you've probably never seen before. And Nicolas Cage, there are no bad actors, maybe only bad directors, because Nicolas Cage, let me fucking tell you, this should get Oscar buzz.
Yes.
He barely says anything in the movie, and he's the best part of the movie. Alex Wolff was great. Everybody did fantastic. But Nicolas fucking Cage, oh my God, are you kidding me? Screenplay's tight. The cinematography is amazing. It's better than it had any right to be in a film like this. The pacing is there. Like, you never are bored by this movie whatsoever. I know it's only an hour and a half, but my God, 10 out of 10, bro. It is a banger. Pig is amazing.
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more. It is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Without spoiling too much, there is one particular scene where Nick Cage and Alex Wolff are at a restaurant.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, I will say no more, but it is one of my favorite scenes of the year.
Yes.
And it is the moment where I was just I was already on board before that.
Right.
But that just kicked in next gear for me. And then
oh my God.
everything beyond that is just sublime.
I think my mouth literally dropped watching that scene. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because it shifted. Like, that scene was a little bit different than what we had been seeing in the rest of the movie. And then all of a sudden, it just something happened. And I was like, oh my fucking God. This is crazy. It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
fantastic.
It is awesome. Probably, right now, it's my favorite movie of the year. It's hands down. It's number 1.
Yeah, it's within my top 5, if not I think it's in my top 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's up there.
I'm feeling a lot of FOMO, gentlemen.
I'm so sorry.
I would say that I predict it will be quite good.
Quite good.
Yes.
I think that my current favorite movie of 2021 is The Green Knight, and I would like to see it knocked off its perch because I think that I'm looking for just a really good grounded character drama to I always am a sucker for this time of season. The powerhouse performances. I still need to see The Father from last year.
Dude.
I need some Coleman and Hopkins action.
Yes.
Have you guys heard of the HBO series Landscapers?
I saw a little ad for it the other day.
Okay, so
it's her and David Thewlis, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And 2 of my favorite British actors teaming up for a tense 4-part thriller series. I'm in. It's pretty good so far. That's what I say.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. My last movie I got here. I actually watched this morning.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So it's pretty fresh on my mind. I don't know if either of you gentlemen have heard of the movie I'm Not There.
I have.
Yeah.
My roommate recommended it to me one time, and it sounded a bit too wild for me to get into.
It's something, all right. So basically, this is I hesitate to even call it a biopic, but it is. But it's about Bob Dylan, but he's portrayed by 6 different actors. And they're different parts of his persona, basically.
Okay, this is a Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger is in it.
Okay.
And he is fantastic in it, I will say.
Is Kate Blanchett good
Kate
as her?
Blanchett is it's very weird, and it's kind of the most out of the 6, probably the most actory performance, if that makes sense. But she's good. She's interesting. But I thought Heath Ledger was great. I thought Christian Bale does a pretty.
Christian Bale's in? Bro,
Yeah.
I gotta watch this tonight, bro.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
Cool.
So I would recommend checking out. But it is a very strange little movie because each of these different like kind of I guess personas, it's almost like in a different style. Like like the Cate Blanchett part, it's almost like a Fellini type thing, and then like there's like a part with Richard Gere, and it's like these like westerns from like the 60s and 70s.
Man, I'm in.
So yeah, highly recommend it. Can't guarantee that it's for everyone, but I was quite impressed by it.
Do you need to be a Dylan fan to enjoy?
I would say it would probably help, but I would say that even if you're not, the filmmaking is fascinating enough to where it'll kind of suck you in a little bit. So.
Okay.
I'm a light Bob Dylan fan. I know my dad's a huge Bob Dylan fan.
Yeah, because I like Bob Dylan. I wouldn't say he's like I'm like a Bob Dylan like aficionado, but I like him quite a bit, and I was very into what was going on here. So
cool.
Hell yeah.
So I've never heard of this movie, but I'm intrigued now. I'm gonna add it to my watch list.
Yeah, definitely.
What's that other movie that Heath Ledger was in towards the end of his life? That Terry Gilliam flick.
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah, that was also multiple actors played him, but that wasn't planned, was it? That was just because
wasn't planned. That was just because Ledger died, and then they brought in Colin Farrell and maybe. I can't remember who the other one was, but no, Colin Farrell was the other one.
There were some big names on that project. I remember.
What was that one movie that had the weird, fantastical name, and it was actually really sad? It was Mr. Megorium's
Wonder Emporium.
Wonder Emporium. Is that the name? Yeah. I remember watching that as a kid and being like, "Ha ha." Fuck? Yeah.
I have a distinct memory of those portable DVD players they had that looked like
yes.
I remember watching it from like 10 feet away on one of those and like crying. Yeah, it's just such a distinct memory. And the balls. Balls. Magical.
Well,
hey, speaking of magical, the most magical director in all of Hollywood did the West Side Story recently. Yeah.
He told the story from the West Side.
He didn't give no East Side story.
No.
And he definitely didn't listen to Ansel Elgort's Accusers story.
Okay, I was actually confused seeing somebody saying, and I didn't know Ansel Elgort was in the movie, and somebody tweeted about it. I was like, isn't he like out of the game supposedly? Like, didn't he get... I don't know if anything ever happened. I know he was accused. I don't know if anything happened or if it was true or not.
It was in 2020. Someone stepped forward and said that like they were groomed essentially by Ansel. Yeah. I didn't follow the story.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I wasn't super close to it. I just know that he got accused.
I do not think that it will prevent me from going to see West Side Story. I like to separate art from artist still. Like, this is how I felt when Kevin Spacey was accused. Like, most of the movies that I like him in, he's a piece of shit anyway, so like it just adds to the effect. I've never really cared for Ansel Elgort, so
no,
I don't know.
I think he was this might be a hot take, but I actually think The Fault in Our Stars is a pretty good movie, and I like him in The Fault in Our Stars.
I think John Green's writing kind of helps. I don't know. I think John Green has a shtick. Yeah. He's very good at it, though.
I agree.
Didn't John Green write Paper Towns, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was co-written by someone else, though. You can blame them.
Yeah. Okay, I'll blame them. Yeah. Paper Towns sucks ass.
Yeah, that movie is not good.
Yeah.
No. It's not even like the filmmaking level. It's just the writing. The writing's horrible. His characters are dog shit in that movie. But either way, we have a topic.
Yeah.
We were getting there. We started it. Spielberg. Spielberg. Fun fact: Spielberg is probably the single reason I'm into like film today. Because,
really?
The films that fascinated me and encouraged me the most in my upbringing were his films, like Jaws, E.T., and Jurassic Park. Specifically, Jurassic Park, and specifically. The one E.T.
E.T.
And I actually had the chance to watch Jurassic Park and E.T. in a double feature at the drive-in in my hometown, and that was sick as fuck. Yeah, I love Spielberg.
Yeah, same here. I have a very vivid memory of actually watching E.T. at a drive-in.
Yeah.
Funny enough, whenever I was younger, and man, it just really just blew my mind seeing that back in the day. And same thing with Jurassic Park as well, which I think holds up magnificently today.
Oh my god, it's even more irreverent today than it ever has been.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, bro. It's literally, it's so good.
oh yeah.
I have early Spielberg kind of traumatized me as a child. I'm not gonna lie. We lived in Florida, and Jaws was on TV or something, and I watched enough of it, and I had a fear of the ocean for a really long time after that.
Yeah.
Also, Steve Irwin got killed by stingrays
Yeah.
around that same period.
Fuck stingrays.
And I was like, oh shit, you bet your ass I was doing the stingray shuffle every time I went to the beach.
Oh yeah.
So if he couldn't ruin the ocean enough, he also had to ruin dinosaurs for me, because in the second grade I was in a chess tournament, and they had like a movie theater where kids could go in between matches and watch stuff. And Jurassic Park was on, and I think my biggest dinosaur movie up to that point had been Land Before Time, which, I mean, granted, it's got that big scary T-Rex in it.
Oh, yeah.
But I was not ready for how horrifying it is. Like, even the little, like, dinosaur that gets Dennis Nedry. What, I can't remember.
No,
that
that's the
one's name.
scariest fucking part.
Yeah, it's like it jump scares him in the car. It's like, ah!
And it spits fucking that black like venom on him or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? That's scary.
But yeah, when he's not been ruining my childhood, he's been pretty cool. I mean, I've always loved Indiana Jones and E.T.
Oh, yeah.
especially.
Oh my god.
Those are
Okay,
my favorite
wait.
movies.
What's the best Indiana Jones movie?
Oh gosh, this is.
There is a right answer. I'm just kidding, but I want to know.
I
what
think
y'all
I think I have the right answer. I think it's Raiders. I think Raiders.
Raiders?
I mean, it might be the safe choice, but
Yeah, Raiders is the safe choice, but it is also my choice, I think, for the best. That's just...
Okay.
It's one of those movies that just set the template. And
Right. Okay. I think Last Crusade.
really,
That
the
would be my
best.
second.
Yeah.
I was gonna chastise the Last Crusade folks. I think actually my ranking is the order they came out in. First Raiders, second Temple of Doom, and third Last Crusade. I think mainly just because Last Crusade goes back to the formula a bit more. It's a bit of a safer film than Doom, and I would have liked. I mean, other than Sean Connery, who's like a really excellent addition, I would have liked more new additions and more
I gotcha.
shaking up. I mean, I do like the Nazis coming back
Right.
as villains. That
I
was
think
good.
there's nothing to like about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Can we all admit that? I don't think there's a whole lot.
I think there are some charming sequences in Kingdom.
Well,
of the
okay,
Crystal
the
Skull.
opening warehouse sequence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the opening rules.
Yeah, top 10 sequences of all time. But
Yeah.
it's good. I don't know.
I do think that Crystal Skull gets a little too, goofy.
Yeah,
I guess. Like, it kind of really pushes it.
it really does.
Like, once the aliens get involved, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm a little bit out of this
Oh
now.
my God,
But, like,
yeah.
everything up to that, I'm like, this isn't that bad.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it has been a while since I've watched it, but granted, I watched it a shit ton when I was younger, and I
Right.
just, the more I watched it, the more I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know who. I think it actually might have been George Lucas. I don't know what George Lucas said to Steven Spielberg to make him think that like 2000 CGI was the future, like to the point that he redid
yeah.
E.T., took out the puppet and put in CG E.T. Like that shit's cringe as hell. And that's honestly my biggest problem with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is like so many of the effects look dated, and meanwhile you can go back and watch these Indiana Jones movies from the 80s and I mean they look way better. I don't know what that is, like why he thought well, I guess maybe this was the crux of all filmmakers in the 2000s. It's like, wow, computer technology is great, like let's let's use cutting edge stuff, not realizing how quickly they become dated. I will say though that with Skull, I blame Lucas more. I feel like Spielberg, he misses, but he never phones it in. Like I saw some.
You saw the
Discord.
same tweet?
I saw it, but
Okay.
I agree with it completely.
No, I do.
Yeah, me
I
too.
wanted to talk about that because, yeah, no, he's missed a lot. But he's kind of like what I said about James Cameron. It seems like every film he does is like sort of like a passion project for him. You know, every film he does is at least he's interested as fuck in it. Seems to me like, why? What do you got?
Yeah, what's your...
What do
I
you
don't
talking
know.
about?
And this would maybe have to be one of my lower tier Spielberg movies. I would say Ready Player One felt like
Okay.
someone approached you with a paycheck.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest, that one, and honestly BFG to a degree.
See, I haven't seen the BFG.
It's like we have Mark Rylance fresh off Bridge of Spies.
Yeah.
Let's put him to work.
Because I feel like he did Bridge of Spies, and then like with those movies, like I just want to put Mark Rylance in this and get the bag and get out of here.
I mean, I've heard though the movie Ready Player One is infinitely better than the book Ready Player One.
I can agree to that.
Okay.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, I mean, Ready Player One has some cool sequences, and I think it's not entirely an awful film. I've seen it twice, so there's a reason I went back and saw it again, because I mean, it's just a cool movie, but definitely lower tier Spielberg.
For sure.
I'm curious, what do you think about The Post?
I never saw it.
Here's the thing. I liked The Post when I saw it. Well, I mean, I guess I've only really seen it the one time.
Right.
I liked it. But then after I went and watched All the President's Men, I liked it significantly less.
Okay. So is it the same story? I haven't seen All the President's Men.
It's basically... Oh, man. All the President's Men rules.
Okay.
I need to see
But anyway,
that,
it's kind of like everything like up to the beginning of... Like, they intertwine a little bit.
Okay,
It's
I
hard to
got you.
really explain. But yeah, The Post is fine. I'll put it that way. The Post is fine.
I love The Post. It was one of my favorites of 2017. I think even if maybe the politics and the actual story get a little bit muddled, as all fucking political movies do, whatever. The performances he gets out of Hanks and what's her name?
Streep.
Streep.
Yeah, Meryl Streep.
Their dynamic in that movie, I've seen The Post 2 or 3 times. I really do love the movie, and it's up there for me with his Spielberg's filmography. Yeah. I really think The Post is he does so much with so little. Mm-hmm. It's not one location, but it's almost one location.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's very solid, I think, with what he does with what he's given.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out Bob Odenkirk in that movie. He
Yes!
Bob Odenkirk's in The Post?
Bob Odenkirk has like a very key supporting role in it, and he's fantastic in it.
Oh my god, I'm always gonna jump on a movie for some good Bob Odenkirk action.
yeah.
You know that part in Little Women when he comes in?
My Little Women!
My Little Women! That scene is just like a balm for me. It's just so like, oh.
I knew he was gonna be in the movie, so actually a lot of my experience watching Little Women was just waiting for Bob Odenkirk to show up.
When is he gonna be?
It's like fucking Christmas.
Oh my god.
Well, I think it literally was Christmas.
It was.
Yeah.
It felt like it. I will say that I feel like Spielberg gets accused of not having a lot of like bite in his movies. You know, being like a very safe director. But I would argue that there are a lot of films in his career where he's clearly got like a lot to say. I mean, the obvious choice would be Schindler's List. Like, I feel like that's got to be one of the most brutal viewing experiences
That's a big
ever.
hole for
and that's
me.
definitely
You've never seen Schindler's List?
Yeah, that's one of
the few
blind
movies
spots.
that has made me tear up while watching it.
Yeah, that movie destroyed me. It's a heavy one. But yeah, that one, because there's Saving Private Ryan, of course.
Yeah. I think one that's super underrated that people should talk about more, Munich.
Yes!
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up too. Very underrated Spielberg, and one of his more like adult movies, for lack of a better term.
My God, yeah, revenge at its brutal, most ugly core, you know? Like, it really made me feel like a shower after watching it. Which is crazy because it's Spielberg.
It's Spielberg.
It's fucking
Yeah.
E.T. director.
That's easily one of his darker ones, and it's fantastic.
Sorry.
So, no, you're fine. I was going to say, another one that I feel like he had at least something to say, like, obviously, it may not be, with, like, Schindler's List, obviously, but Minority Report.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I started watching it, and I'm about, like, an hour of the way through, and I had to cut it off, and I just haven't came back to it yet, but I want to really bad because it is a really good, like, concept, and I think he was... he obviously had some things to say in it, and obviously Tom Cruise is great in it. And it was a really interesting movie.
No, I love Minority Report. It's one of my favorite Spielbergs for sure. That's one that like I started watching. It's like, yeah, this will be like a nice little action movie.
Right,
and then
right.
like I get like halfway through it, and I'm just like,
Where was the report?
I'm like, come on, give it to me, let's go.
Come on, let's hear what the precogs have to say. I think Philip K. Dick should be adapted for the big screen more. Like, clearly it's worked out. The two most famous examples, Blade Runner and fucking Minority Report. Like, the author has a lot to give to the big screen. I think that one of his most divisive movies would have to be AI, because that was a Kubrick project originally.
It was Kubrick's baby, and then Spielberg got brought into it. And I remember, like, I read something a little while ago saying that people were really upset that he was going to take that on because Kubrick and Spielberg, I mean, they're two obviously, masterful filmmakers.
Yin and yang, though.
But yeah, very yin and yang, exactly.
Yeah.
They were friends, apparently. Like, very close. Though.
Really?
Like, yeah.
That.
And that's why Spielberg wanted to finish it, is he wanted to do right by Kubrick. Which, I've never seen it, but apparently it feels like a Kubrick, or... I don't know. I'm
to
talking
me,
out of my
it feels
ass.
like the least Spielberg movie. Even though I haven't seen it, it just, to me, I'm just like, I don't think Spielberg would do that. But
yeah,
maybe he does. I don't know.
As someone who has seen AI, I will say that it kind of is the least Spielberg movie in a way. Like, you have like these little bits here and there where you can kind of see the Spielberg of it all, where like he's kind of having a little bit of fun with like the whole concept of androids and people like that. But it's also one of the most depressing movies ever made, and it's just so different from his usual kind of shtick, where he tries to at least end it on a good note, where he tries to have a little bit of positivity. But this one is just very heartbreaking.
Right. Well, I do want to watch it. It's been on my watch list for a while, and one that I recently fucking filled out. I think I watched it way earlier this year, maybe last year. Was Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That movie slaps.
That movie slaps hard.
Oh my god! Talk about a fucking sequence after sequence after sequence. That's just
for sure.
The set design, the set pieces for this film are amazing,
spectacular.
Spielberg is spectacle. Okay,
for sure.
He knows how to do spectacle really fucking well.
Yeah. I think he's really good. Like, I think the two things I think he does well is spectacle, obviously, like number one.
You're right.
And then, like, right under that, he's really good at really tugging at your heartstrings.
Oh yeah,
he's really good at hitting those emotional beats. And sometimes it is a bit schmaltzy. It's a little cheesy, but you still just can't help but love it.
Right,
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
He has an incredible knack for finding like talent that will blow up down the line. Like, obviously Drew Barrymore is probably his most famous example, but Vin Diesel is also a product of Spielberg's discovery. He saw a short film that Vin Diesel did about being black and going to auditions, and he cast him in. I think his sequence in Saving Private Ryan is one of the most heartfelt for sure.
He's very good in Saving Private Ryan. I agree.
I think that Spielberg. What's interesting about him is like, he can do these big budget, like incredible, like war movies. But like you were saying, Casey, like I haven't seen The Post, but you said it's mostly set in one location. That made me think about another movie that Spielberg's done that I really love, The Terminal. Tom Hanks. Have you guys seen that? I fucking love that movie. I don't know. I think it's so cute and just pure and I don't know. It made me feel so good. I have to say.
Like, that's one of those movies. I have a very vivid memory of seeing that trailer as a child, like in the movie theater, and being like, so he's just in the airport? Like, that's the movie? And then, like, I didn't catch up with it until, like, a few years ago, and I was like, this movie is ridiculous, but it is so wholesome.
Yeah.
And so sweet.
On the wholesome note, like, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
How can you take a story like that and make it like he does? Like, that movie, we watched that for my fucking home economics class.
Nice.
Because she was like, here's how to write a check. Now watch this movie about this famous guy that did it a lot, or that wrote hot checks, and he was just like that. Like, Catch Me If You Can is, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, we got Leo up in this bitch, and we got Hanks up in this bitch. I mean,
don't forget about Walken.
Walken,
like, that's one of my favorite Walken performances.
Yes,
like,
it's so good.
Oh.
It's so good.
I played Christopher Walken's character in the play adaptation of Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, I knew you were in the play.
Wait, no, I wasn't Walken. I was the other guy. I was the
you-
girl's dad. But I don't remember who he is
Were
in
you
the movie.
Martin Sheen?
I think I might have been Martin Sheen. My bad. Yep, I fucked up.
One of those legendary.
Just one of those slight legendary. Hey.
Spielberg?
Oh my
It's
god.
Spielberg!
Hey.
Hey guys, it's me, Steven Spielberg.
Thanks for directing the Ready Player One. You really have done
And also
well.
The Terminal.
And also Schindler's List.
It's just my duty to humanity.
I would say.
Thank you. Go and be free, sir.
Alexander Payne.
Oh, Payne. Okay.
Oh, of course. Election.
Director
we love
of
it.
Election.
And Sideways.
Sideways.
Wait, isn't there something else? Isn't there a
The
third?
Descendants.
Oh, right.
And also Downsizing.
I haven't seen Downsizing.
Oh, that's a movie, all right. That's a whole other thing.
It's got to be one of the movies of all
Downsizing.
time.
Let me tell you.
That's a wild one.
That's
Wait,
probably
Spielberg did Empire of the Sun?
Yeah, Spielberg did Empire of the Sun.
My God.
I also wanted to bring up one of the more interesting ones that he directed, mainly just because it's Spielberg taking on this specific movie, and that's The Color Purple. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen the film The Color Purple.
I've read the
it.
book.
I haven't watched
but
it.
Because, like, obviously Spielberg is a white dude, and
Yeah.
that movie is about mainly black women.
Right.
And it's kind of wild that he would take on a film like this. It doesn't really seem
Yeah, like
know,
the right choice.
like the right
the
fit.
right decision.
I think he does the best with. He does it a lot better than he could have.
Right.
Than it could have been. Like, I mean,
Probably no Driving Miss Daisy.
this. Good lord. This is way better than Driving Miss Daisy. Like,
right.
if the dude who did Driving Miss Daisy did this, then it would be disastrous.
Yeah, right.
But, like, Spielberg at least gets to, like, the humanity of the story. He gets to, like, you know, who these people were. And he does it as respectfully as possible. And it does work. I do think it works pretty well.
Isn't that in large part, like, I haven't seen the movie, obviously, but, like, isn't that large part due to his discovery of Whoopi Goldberg for this role?
Yeah.
And Oprah?
And
Isn't
Oprah.
in it?
Oprah is
Oh God. Okay.
in it. Yeah.
Well, Oprah's actually a really great actress.
Yeah.
Have you seen her?
I saw her in what was
The
that?
Butler?
The Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, Wrinkle in Time. Oh, boy.
Never mind.
Yeah, no. Oprah is good in Color Purple. I will say that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And Whoopi is obviously fantastic in it as well.
Whoopi is my hero.
That's
Love
her
me some Whoopi.
breakout role?
Yeah,
Is
that
the
was the
Color
one that
Purple?
put her on the
Okay.
map.
That's cool.
And I mean, I just remembered Christian Bale got a big breakout role from Spielberg too with Empire of the Sun.
Okay,
He was
yeah.
just a boy.
This guy's a name maker. The
Throat
goat.
Throat Goat.
The throat.
Kirsten Dunst in fucking Jurassic Park. I mean, that's another
Yeah.
big one too.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, she's Spider-Man's girlfriend, Mary Jane.
No, I know she's in.
She's
That's who
the
that
girl
is?
in Jurassic
the
Park.
power of the dog herself.
Is she?
I don't think she's in that.
She is
No,
in
that's
Jurassic
not-
Park. What?
That's not her.
What?
Are you talking about?
Did my dad
Was
lie to
she
me?
in The Lost World, perhaps?
No. What? That's not Kirsten Dunst?
It's
No.
not Kirsten Dunst.
And I changed my pronunciation of that name twice, so I can't be wrong, you know?
Okay.
With Kirsten Dunst.
Wait, it
Bro,
really
she
doesn't
is-
have...
No, she's
No?
not in Jurassic Park. my guy.
What
What are you
reality
doing?
do
What
I
are you
live
doing?
in?
You live in a bad one.
I
The
know.
wrong one.
Well, clearly the Mandela effect
Who
is
the
like
fuck
a real
told you
thing.
that?
Then
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm feeling bad, gentlemen. I
I just had to give you shit for it.
Yeah,
no, I
I
don't
know.
know. I don't think that girl was ever in any other
I don't think-
significant, or I don't want to say significant, just other like mention.
never mind. So Spielberg's a fucking fraud.
No,
Hey, let's wrap up.
Okay,
no, I'm
wait.
kidding.
I do have another one that I wanted to ask if what your guys' thoughts on is the Adventures of Tintin.
I never saw it.
I like Adventures of Tintin.
I love it.
It's great.
It's so fucking violent.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's so violent, and it's like I remember when we rented it. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this," because it was based on
The comic
Yeah,
strip.
comics.
comic strip,
Yeah.
and Mom was like, "I remember this." We started watching it, and she was like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And I was loving it because like the opening to it, it's it's action, and then
Yeah.
there's like a fucking a shootout random, like I mean, and it's animated, but it's animated just violence. Like I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. I love
Is that
Tintin.
his only animated movie? I can't think of
I
any.
think
I think
so.
so.
Like he's produced other
Yeah.
ones. Like I know he produced Land Before Time, and
Right.
everything like
Right.
that, but
No, yeah, that's his only.
What a strange choice to just suddenly be like,
It's
I'm gonna do
very
one animated.
Very Spielberg though.
Very Spielberg.
If it was live action, I mean, I'd probably simp for it even more. Not the animation is inferior, but just. I don't know. If this was live action, everybody would be like, this is Spielberg.
It'd be a classic.
It's a certified classic. It already is. I love Tintin, but yeah.
Well, I gotta ask. I mean, it's been nonstop praise. Do you think that Spielberg is in your top 3, in terms of directors like that? Or
he's definitely my top 5. I know he It's very hard for me to put him any lower than number 4, honestly, because he's literally inspired me so much throughout my entire life. But there are some directors that I think have a tighter and more consistent filmography. Like the tweet said, he does miss, but he never phones it in. That's why I respect him so fucking much.
Right. Just has so many.
He just so many. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. He's probably in my 5, but there's definitely other directors that, for sure, kind of speak to me a little bit more and then kind of connect to me. But as far as big name, big budget directors go, I mean, he is,
He's the only reason I want to do a blockbuster movie. I have a lifelong dream of directing a blockbuster, and because he is literally the throat goat of blockbusters. He just, like I said, he knows spectacle and he knows what's going to fucking sell at the theater, at the box office. So I respect him for that.
Well, I mean, to be fair with West Side Story, it's already the most successful musical ever. That was a pretty easy choice to just remake that. I don't know.
Right. True.
Do you think this is a safe choice, remaking West Side Story? Do you think this is kind of bold?
I don't think doing any musical adaptation for the screen is a safe choice.
No, it's always a risk.
It's always for
But
me.
it's already been done.
It's
yeah. And I think because a lot of people hold the original in such high regard, at least for some people. But I think if he was going to, because this is his first musical, first of all.
Yeah. I forget that.
And I think for him to try to do this with any musical, I think West Side Story is probably his best bet. I don't know if I would say it's his safest bet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know me. I'm not a musical guy. Yeah. There's 2 musical movie musicals that I really, really love, and but West Side Story, especially because it's just Romeo and Juliet, I'm just so fucking sick and tired of that shit.
Oh.
But I will say,
it's quite good.
If I was gonna fucking watch and love any Romeo and Juliet-esque musical, it's probably gonna be Spielberg's West Side Story. It just looks.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the original?
I haven't seen the original.
Oh,
I had no urge to, but I don't know.
It's pretty banging.
It's
I'm
pretty
not gonna lie,
banging?
it holds up really well.
Well, I'm not against watching musicals. It's just
Gotcha.
they're definitely not my first pick when I sit down to watch a movie. But I should probably watch the original and then watch Spielberg's. But
yeah. I've actually never seen the original movie. I've seen the production on stage. But I've never seen the movie, and I want to watch it before I go see Spielberg's version
for sure.
Yeah, my last time seeing it was on stage, and it was at my old high school, and it was actually a subject of controversy throughout Arkansas because they didn't have too many Puerto Rican kids in it, and it was. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna comment on that because I don't know how I feel about it still. I just feel like maybe musicals especially if they're involving race and you don't have the means to do it without proper representation, you probably should just stay away. I think something about Spielberg taking on this movie that I really admire is that he said none of the sharks will be outside of the Latinx community. He specifically sought out actors who are from that community, and I don't know that they did that for the original film. I think that there are chances to improve upon it there in terms of representation and actually having diversity instead of masking it up with white people with a spray tan or something.
Right. Yeah, no, he's definitely doing the work, which I really appreciate because that's more than a lot of directors would do if they had the chance to make this. So
there could have easily been a 2011 in the vein of 2011 Footloose style remake of this movie with the hottest stars of 2014 or I mean Ansel Elgort does feel like that kind of choice.
Oh, Footloose is so fucking annoying.
I never saw it. I've never seen either version. I feel like if I will watch it, it'll be the Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, the Kevin Bacon version is my mom's favorite movie of all time, so I've definitely seen it a couple times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, Spielberg, I gotta say, what a guy, what a dude.
What a dude.
Probably my top. I felt like how you guys did.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything new to add to that conversation. I feel like there are directors who make, bolder movies that I think I admire more, but I think that he's made some of my favorite movies of all time, and his impact is undeniable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On the industry. I mean, he invented the fucking blockbuster.
He invented it, yeah. What the fuck?
I wouldn't be talking about James Cameron's T2 without Jaws, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just a fact.
And I actually went back and rewatched Jaws the other day, and I was still like, I still cannot complain about anything about this movie. Like, it's solid.
Rules.
You know, I don't want to drag this out too much longer if you guys don't want to talk about it, but
fuck it.
We were
talking about movies all night.
we were talking about this in our group chat that we formed before.
Dr. Mom, yeah.
Dr. Mom group chat. We were talking about how in Spielberg movies there's always a pretty well-defined character arc. And I think that this is something that's missing from a lot of modern blockbusters. Like, especially, it wasn't always the case with like Marvel movies, but nowadays I feel like when you start one of those movies, you're made to believe that like every protagonist is like, oh, the most likable guy ever. And there's not really an arc. It's just like there's a clear likable character and there's the clear opposition to that character. And I feel like Spielberg has always handled his characters very well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. I think my favorite of his characters, I'm gonna bring it up again, is the Post. Like
Really?
The Post has, I wouldn't say they were the most complicated or most complex characters, but the movie is based around a decision that a character has to make.
Right.
And just watching the characters scramble around, and it's forgot her name again.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. How are you forgetting
I keep wanting to
Streep?
say Helen Mirren. I don't know why. Meryl Streep. Meryl
vibes,
Streep's character has to make a decision, and the characters around her are like pulling her in different directions, and ultimately the decision is up to her. And so that's why I feel like those characters are probably some of my favorite that Spielberg has done. Obviously, we have fucking Jaws. We have Sam Neill's character from Jaws. They're all great. I just think the Post has the most interesting characters. Now, not to say that like Spielberg's characters have always been interesting, and they're not always like Marvel's what they've got their problem right now. But I see what you're saying there. But that's my hot take on
Your hot take.
my hot take on Spielberg's
take.
characters. But I don't know. What do you think about? I really want to get into the discussion that the Twitter sphere is having with this right now.
Oh man,
Wait, with what?
with like just complex.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
protagonists.
Yeah, because with Spielberg, you do kind of get just this, like, these are characters that have very complex emotions and like things they have to actually think through. It's not really just like here's our hero, he's perfect. These are people that are kind of difficult sometimes. I mean, like I said in our group chat with Schindler's List, Oskar Schindler, he was a literal Nazi.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like, that's kind of a tough sell to really get you on his side at the beginning, because you're like, this guy's not a good guy.
Yeah.
And so we see this, with some of his other stuff, maybe not quite to the degree that we've been seeing in some of these, like, more like indie flicks lately.
The more character-driven movies.
Yeah, more character-driven movies, but it's at least, like, compared to Marvel and compared to other big-budget stuff, he definitely has more of a grasp on these actual, like, human aspects of these characters.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's something that makes his movies like endlessly rewatchable as opposed to something that's more disposable. Like I would, and I hate to say it because it was made by Chloe Zhao, who does not have a reputation of like abandoning character development, but I felt like that was probably my biggest problem with the Eternals.
Yeah.
Is like you're just watching this like big, expensive, long movie, but at no point are you made to like really question. Like they try and shoehorn it in there, like questioning the characters and the horrible things that they've sat out on. But like, I think from the get-go, you're just kind of thrust into it, and you're supposed to like most of them on the basis that they are the protagonists of the film, and you're not really meant to question it. Mm-hmm. And then when they do bring up like these terrible things that they've done, it made me, for the most part, go like, "Wait, so can we pause on that a little longer? Like, that's genocide, right?" Like,
it just blindsides you, and kind of going off what you're saying with Chloe Zhao. I mean, like, if you watch any of other stuff, I mean, those are movies that are very drawn out and focused on just such a small group of characters. Mm-hmm. And they're very, these very naturalistic portraits of just people in America, basically.
Yeah.
And then with Eternals, I feel like she's trying to do that, but she also has to fit it into a Marvel movie, and there's also like 12 characters.
The most studio film to ever studio film, right? Any Marvel film, like she's an indie director that got thrown into fucking one of the biggest blockbuster makers of the last decade.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Of course, it's probably not going to meld well with her. I don't know. I don't know what made them think to get her. Like, if you look at every other director's track record, they work in TV, and that's what they like, because the Marvel is one big TV show. But Chloe Zhao, the writer, Nomadland, what the fuck is going on? Like, they're great movies, but like it's still nobody has given me an answer. Like, I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but we still don't have an answer.
Well, I thought my answer that like, these directors are so out of their element when it comes to like action, and connected universes. Like these directors have only ever worked on standalone, low budget films, and when they get like a crew of like thousands of people, like it's much easier for the studio to jump in there and kind of control that creative vision. And I think that's why we've seen a lot of directors like Edgar Wright and who else has walked away? Scott Derrickson walked away.
Poor Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, I feel like Sam Raimi is in for a tough time.
I'm scared for that one.
It got delayed.
Yeah.
It got delayed. Well,
so
that's mainly because of the strike.
That's true.
The strike.
Yeah, but they did reshoots though.
Like,
what the fuck? When's the last time we heard of them doing reshoots on a Marvel film?
Oh, yeah. I get fair point. I feel like Van Forstick was the last time that... Well, but that was a Fox movie. Oh,
I mean, but still, like an MCU movie.
Right.
The last time I heard of reshoots was for, I think, one of the big Avengers, but we kind of expected that. Like, it's a huge 3-hour movie. They might have needed to fit something.
I think they shot multiple fake endings.
Too.
Actually, No Way Home apparently had a lot of script rewrites and reshoots and stuff.
Really?
Like, they've been changing the ending a lot. And that makes me kind of worried. This is why I had a little bit of a theory last week that movie might actually end up being worse than we think it is. And also... I think the point still stands that, like, if you're bringing back classic characters from another director and another writer, like, it's going to be hard to make that tonally consistent with the MCU, which is so dependent on shoving in a lot of elements at, like, a quick pace. I think characters often get left behind, which is exactly why I think Spielberg is so brilliant. It's like, even though his movies often have so many moving parts, character is something that's never left on the table. And I think that if we're trying to tie this into our superhero discussion, I think it's pretty interesting to note that Spielberg's never directed a superhero flick, which is crazy with a director of his large range of material, especially at blockbusters. You know?
Maybe Journo should ask him what he thinks about the MCU.
Oh, God. Why is this a trend? Why are we asking these art house? Jane Campion had to weigh in on fucking superhero movies.
I tweeted that. I was like, why? I was like, they are doing it on purpose to for what? For what? Everybody knows what Jane fucking Campion is going to say about the MCU.
So these directors can get a new wave of hate. Like, I've never heard of this woman before, but I'm about to review bomb the shit out of a movie I know nothing about.
Who is she? Only the first woman to ever win a fucking, was it the Palme d'Or?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh my gosh.
God.
There was a really cringe bit of discourse this week. Oh, it was for The Matrix. There's a shot going around of like Trinity holding the gun.
Oh my
and
God!
Like, this is the coolest shot you could ever make. I don't know how you could top it. And someone in the comments was like, this, and it's not even close, and it's just like Captain America like holding the hammer. And it looks so like bland and like on a green screen compared to like The Matrix, which was clearly shot on like a real rooftop or something. Like, I don't know. I hate that it always comes back to superhero discourse, and I don't think it's our fault anymore. I do think that Marvel heads like kind of stick their head into things that they have no business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of which, did you see the TikTok of the girl that walked out of Licorice Pizza?
Oh god!
Wait, what? Oh my god! It infuriated me. Okay. So
you're shouting. I just can tell that.
I'm sorry.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. I'm sure you saw the same thread that I did.
What did she think Licorice Pizza was?
Well, she's like, we went into it for the aesthetic because it looked very, very cool and very like warm, and we thought it was like a typical love story. And then she got into the fact that the romance is 10 years apart, and they walked out. And she's like, "This is like, pedophilic and yada yada yada." And somebody tweeted, they're like, "Oh no, guys, normies have found PTA," and I was like, "No."
PTA invited them though. He said Shang-Chi is his favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
PTA does love
Venom
a good
too.
Oh gosh, PTA is such a that's what I love about PTA.
I love him.
He roots for everyone in the business.
Oh,
and just doesn't seem to dislike any movies.
Yeah.
He's
like, this movie's pretty good.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, not bad.
Not bad.
He'll go out and make movies like infinitely more complex, and then come back to like the Marvel fans.
Just I like this. Oh man, and then I'm really worried for whenever that whole subset of people who are mad about Licorice Pizza find out about Red Rocket, the new Sean Baker movie.
Yeah,
because that movie is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of ties back to the complex protagonist,
right?
For some reason, there's a notion that you have to agree, and you have the protagonist has to be God in every film.
Yeah, like the protagonist has to be, at least for some audience members, they seem to think that your protagonist has to be like a saint. They can do no wrong. Mm-hmm. They have to be perfect. They have to be these paragons of like morality. Mm-hmm. When in reality, that's not very interesting at all. Mm-mm. I like characters that do make decisions that you're just kind of like, wait, what? Or that are maybe a little morally questionable.
That's what I'm so interested in Licorice Pizza for. Is that there's he's a 15-year-old has a crush on a 25-year-old, and she may have a crush back on him. That's interesting. Not saying it's that's what you want to do or that should be correct, but PTA, it's PTA.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And like from what I have heard from people who have seen it, is that he handles it with a lot of nuance. And like he really does. It's not just like, hey, look at this. It's like, okay, here's the thing. You can either feel really repulsed by it, or you might be charmed by it. Like he just kind of lets the audience kind of do the work on that part.
Right. And
this kind of ties back to like one of our earliest discussions on the show, which is that female characters especially can't be written in an unlikable fashion, or else it's a point of critical discussion. And I felt like I saw this a mile away, like with not only Alana Haim being a new actress, which always welcomes trolls online to like for whatever reason give their opinion about women in film, but like also, I mean, morally dubious characters who aren't perfect, and especially women have to be paragons most of the time. Right. I could kind of see this coming, and that makes me fucking die a little on the inside to hear that people are already reacting like that. Right. It's like, think, be challenged by something for a goddamn second,
right? I think what one of the comments I saw that was the most infuriating about it is because it was I mean, the movie's not out yet, so it was a pre-screener. Like it was a what do they call that?
It was
like test screening?
No,
it wasn't a test screening.
It was like a
no, I can't even
critical preview.
I guess
no,
it's just
it's
a
not
pre-show.
critic screening. Yeah, just a pre-show. Yeah,
yeah. It was just like, and it's like
preview screening,
right? And it's like she had the chance to go see a Paul Thomas Anderson movie fucking 2 weeks earlier than everybody else, and walks out of it. I am pissing myself.
Yeah, I would kill for that.
I know.
I mean, y'all know I'm like the biggest PTA stan on the block. And so, like, when I saw that she walked out, I was like, really? You didn't even think to give the rest of it a chance, maybe?
And that's what infuriates me even more, is because people are out here giving their opinion on a movie that they didn't even fucking finish.
Right.
And they just walked out of. Like, I don't care if you walk out of movies. I've stopped watching movies before, but I'm not going to go on the internet and give an opinion on it. Like, you can't, I don't know, why do you do that?
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like most you can say in a case like that is just like, you know what, not for me.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that, move on.
Right.
Like,
and Oh, but how did she get to? I guess it's a matter of like geography where you live.
Yeah.
you know that you get those free shows.
I think it was LA.
Arkansas is never going to be the spot where
No.
licorice pizza is available to view 2 weeks early. If anything, Arkansas is a spot where we can view Critical Darlings 1 month late. You know?
Yeah, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky. I had to drive to Oklahoma to see the lighthouse because I didn't think it was
really?
coming to Arkansas, and then it did. But
Yeah, and I was thinking about making a road trip not too long ago to go see Come On, Come On, the new
the
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm probably just gonna wait. But
Yeah.
I honestly considered taking a road trip to see Licorice Pizza just so I can see it.
I mean, yeah, dude.
But I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna be patient, as patient as I can.
Right.
I'm not gonna like it though.
There's not
Yeah.
a lot of spoilers on the internet. Not as far as I've...
Yeah.
That's something about Marvel movies that kind of pisses me
Yeah,
off.
you
too,
have
is
to
you
see
gotta-
it like immediately, or else it's gonna get spoiled.
I'm dreading like next weekend for No Way Home because I have to go see it opening night. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm actually gonna have to wait till that next week, like on a random Monday
man.
or Tuesday. I don't think that I'm probably gonna make it out of there unspoiled. I couldn't even get into Endgame without spoilers. Like 2 days before it came out, there was a Facebook comment that posted like all of the spoilers, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I think I remember that happening actually.
the spoilers for every.
Yeah.
This is why we love indie films because nobody gives a fuck. Only
Yeah.
the cinephiles do, and that's what we. It's like I feel I don't want to feel like I'm gatekeeping anybody
No.
from watching movies, of course, but like especially that TikTok. I was like, "What are you doing watching our movies? Like, stop! You're not gonna like them, obviously."
do it.
Oh man.
I do want to ask though, since we were talking about like Spielberg and top five, who's everybody's favorite director? I mean, I figured yours.
Mine's PTA.
PTA?
Obviously.
TA. Oh gosh, I gotta think for a second. Do you have yours? readily
Yeah,
available?
mine's. I don't know if a whole lot of people watch his movies like I do, but I think Jeff Nichols.
Yeah.
Oh,
is
yeah.
probably not. And I got to. He came to UCA, and I actually got to shake his hand because he's very modest dude.
Yeah.
He thinks he makes shit movies that nobody watches and like that nobody likes his movies. So like the only thing I said to him when we were exiting class, I shook his hand. I'm like, listen, I love all of your movies. Like you only put out bangers. Like, and he really does. Like his film Take Shelter is a 5 out of 5 for me. And Mud, I remember I was going to go audition to be in that movie when I was younger, but I missed the casting call, and that movie's great as well.
Mud rules.
It just
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. In every movie you can see he's got complete control of everything. And also he's from Arkansas, and that really inspires me, and I love all his movies. I think Jeff Nichols is great.
He rules.
He rules, absolutely.
I gotta say, like, I know, and I just feel like every choice I come up with sounds like a safe choice, but I love Kubrick so much. Like, just like the perfectionism behind all of his movies,
Right.
I just really admire. And I also am just so delighted that I haven't watched all of his movies, so I get more. Like, I haven't seen Barry Lyndon or Eyes Wide Shut yet. I haven't even seen Full Metal Jacket all the way through.
Oh, it's great.
So
Yeah.
3 great movies I still get to enjoy. I'm gonna drag that out as long as I can. So there's always some fresh Kubrick. I think also Wes Anderson is probably tied because that's the first director I ever 100% completed whenever I started watching his movies. Like I saw Moonrise Kingdom, and 2 months later I'd seen everything
Right.
to that
Yeah.
point.
I still am missing a couple of Anderson movies in my list of his.
What have you not seen? Darjeeling?
Darjeeling and Bottle Rocket.
And then, of course, have you seen French Dispatch yet?
No, not yet.
Great.
So,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I recently rewatched all of his stuff in preparation for French Dispatch, and he is just one of my faves.
I would love to do like a ranking or the spotlight on him sometime.
Bro, we need to bring Saxon back on when we do our PTA ranking.
You
Okay.
need to. I have a lot of feelings.
I need to see Magnolia and catch up on.
Oh, Magnolia, man.
I recently,
gosh.
I recently watched Magnolia, and it was amazing. I think all I have to see now from PTA is Punch Drunk Love, and there's another one that I'm missing. What?
Heart 8, maybe?
What is it? Heart 8. Yes,
Yeah.
Heart 8. Oh, and Boogie Nights.
And Boogie Nights.
Those are the three that I'm
Oh,
missing.
man. You've got to see Boogie Nights.
I've seen the opening sequence, which is amazing.
It's
but-
just
Incredible. All
excellent.
throughout.
yeah.
No, I'd be really curious to hear what you think about Punch Drunk Love. That's a
Okay.
very fascinating movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Sandler in the lead. When
Yeah,
Sam-
Philip Seymour Hoffman's killing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phil Seymour Hoffman gives one of my favorite
I
performances of just his entire body of work.
Every day I wake up, I wish he was still with us.
Me too.
He honestly, oh my god.
Never have I wanted someone to succeed more than Cooper Hoffman right now. Like, I really hope that he's amazing and gets all this praise for Licorice Pizza. I just want to see, good things for that kid.
I've been hearing good things. I mean, I think like a lot of Haim is getting a lot of the praise, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about Cooper Hoffman. So
oh yeah,
very hopeful.
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited for both of them. Yeah,
me too.
Dude, Pete, oh my gosh. What a time. This is a great month for films. December always is, but this year it just feels so much better than last year.
Yeah.
It feels like there's more out right now.
Because we didn't really get much of one last year.
Yeah, we got Nomadland quietly.
Like in February.
I put a top 4 of 2020 last year, and it was so sad.
Our episode for top 10 of 2020 was our top 10 of 2019.
Yeah.
I like that we did that.
Which, by the way, I definitely rearranged my 2019 list since I saw Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Ooh.
What's that at now?
Portrait is like at either number 5 or number 3, I think is what I made it to. Because I think I kicked off Knives Out. I still love Knives Out, but I had to make room for it. It's too fucking good.
It's so good.
I gotta see it.
It's too good.
I feel like that's what I've been saying the most. I gotta see it.
No, I feel like I've been saying Saxon's seen the most 2021 movies of us all.
This guy, okay.
I've only seen 38 movies of this year.
Dr. Popcorn fans, if you're new to Saxon, I feel
Saxon's
like
a freaking madman.
I knew that I was a little chump when I saw you do all of those challenges on Twitter, like rank all of these Academy Award nominees for each year, and you would do it every single time.
Yeah,
and you had alternate takes. You're like, oh, and here's who wasn't nominated.
Here's like a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
my God.
What the
fuck? Yeah, I just like to waste my time.
I don't think it's a waste.
Not really a waste of time. I guess that's not really the right word, but I just tend to use my time a lot. Like right now on my 2021 list, I have 82 movies.
Oh my God.
What is my 2020? I've only seen 31 films in 2020 so far, and it's a sad. Most of them are shit. Like after number 18, I think they're stinkers.
I have a friend who's seen Free Guy 10 times in the theaters. I'm feeling like maybe I need to check out Free Guy soon.
I mean, Free Guy Criterion release when?
It's better than I ever thought it could be.
It was... Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but...
Classic every episode I think what I'm still really, really, really excited to see this year, and you might be surprised by this, but like literally if I didn't watch any other movie this year, and I only watched one more, it would have to be House of Gucci. Okay, for some reason, my brain is like, you have to watch House of Gucci right the fuck now. Like, I want to so bad.
Okay, so I've seen House of Gucci.
Oh my God, of course you have.
And I don't know how to even begin with House of Gucci. That's the thing. Father, Son, and House of Gucci.
That is so hard, though!
I mean, like, it's one of those things where, like, I wish it was campier than it is, but at the same time, I kind of can't help but appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
Like, it's just very... I don't know.
It's Ridley Scott. Like,
it's Ridley, man.
I mean,
he's so hit or miss.
Yeah.
Really.
I think why I'm so excited for it is because when I saw the 2017 version of A Star Is Born and Lady Gaga absolutely...
she's amazing.
I was devastated by that movie. I gave that movie the coveted 5 stars, and she's in House of Gucci, and she looks so, like, how Father, Son, House of Gucci... She is amazing. I love her so much.
She is like fully committed in that movie, which I really appreciate.
That's all I want.
I've heard her and Jared Leto both kind of are cartoons almost.
Jared Leto more so.
Why did they do this to him, or why does he do this?
Because he's a method actor.
No, but why can't you cast? I'm sure there are older actors out there that want roles, and they're like, "Hey, Jared Leto, you 35-year-old, let's put you in fucking old people makeup." Like that is just stupid to me.
Is he only 35?
He's a younger dude.
Because he looks kind of older in like Fight Club and Panic Room. I'm sorry, I only have Fincher examples, but I mean
American Psycho.
Yeah, like is he only like 20?
I don't know. I said 35 because to me he looks 35.
You little bitch.
Holy cow, Jared Leto is 49?
Ooh,
my God.
I mean, Hey, good for you, Jared.
Listen, the best thing I've seen him in is either, like you said, Panic Room, or more recently, I think his later work, the best thing he's done was actually the Little Things.
Buyers? Oh, wait, never mind.
I haven't seen Dallas Buyers, but the Little Things he was actually surprisingly fine in. I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, I didn't hate him in that one. I mean, I wasn't like crazy about it either.
Right,
but I mean, I was like, you know what? For what I have come to expect from him, not bad.
Yeah.
I think Blade Runner 2049 is the last movie I can think of.
Ooh,
where
yes.
he's
Good in that one.
But I will always be frustrated with that performance, knowing what we could have had David Bowie in that role. It would have been infinitely better. But
man.
I mean, he doesn't do a bad job. It's just that I know it hurts.
Right.
It's like,
And
Bowie
he's
would have been great.
barely in the movie too, which that's the one thing about that movie that probably keeps me from thinking it's a complete and utter masterpiece, because I mean, fucking Denis. What?
Oh, Denis.
I said fuck.
But Denis is great, but just that plot point with that, I think he just adds a little bit more than needed to be in the film. But still, I mean, if it was gonna be in there, then Jared Leto did great doing it. Like nobody else probably could have, besides Bowie, of course. Right. But
I mean, if you ask me, the best thing about Blade Runner 2049 is Dave Bautista and his tiny glasses.
oh, let's go. Let's go. Opening sequence.
I'm a big
yeah.
man, but I need a little vision. His dialogue, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You haven't seen a miracle.
Oh
I
my
felt
God.
like it was weird. Dave Bautista is really nice to Denis, but I don't feel like Denis is very nice to Dave Bautista, because Dave Bautista was talking about his role in Dune. He's like, oh yeah, it's a privilege. I feel like there's so much depth. What did he do in Dune?
Yeah.
Where was he? What was he up to?
Well, he actually did. He wants to do more serious roles, and that's why he denied being in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And he was like, it was the hardest decision of my life, but he wanted to pursue other things. And then, he's fine in Blade Runner. I think he does have really good acting chops, but people view him as one thing, and it's Drax, and and he's kind of like, the strong guy in every movie. Like even in Blade Runner, even though he's really good, there's a brawl in the first sequence. Yeah, and so same thing with Dune. Like he's great in Dune, but he's the fucking guy that he's big and he's muscular and he's gonna beat the shit out of somebody.
Which is weird because the book counterpart is more like a governor type. You don't get the vibe that because he's supposed to be kind of fat and in a similar situation as a Baron. So I thought casting Dave Bautista was more in stereotyping Bautista. Definitely. Typecasting. That's what I meant. Yeah.
I think it would have been interesting to see Bautista as the Baron.
That would be an interesting.
I feel like Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, but he's just too perfect.
He is.
Because Stellan Skarsgård is so good at being kind of gross.
Yeah.
Which I mean that sounds like an insult, but I mean that as like the highest form of praise for him.
Makes it for a dragon tattoo. I mean, he is so gross.
He is so slimy in that.
In Mamma Mia, I mean, you can just feel it. Like, who has promiscuous relations with a woman and then just leaves, right? I mean, but she doesn't even know who her father is. She has to sing all these ABBA songs to find out now, you fuck.
I mean, to be fair, in Mamma Mia, I think Pierce Brosnan slightly outgrosses him.
Right, that's true. That's true. With the singing voice. Anytime Pierce Brosnan opens his mouth, it's like,
Okay, but the most physically sickening performance that Stellan Skarsgård has is as Will Turner's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, Bootstrap, yeah.
Bootstrap Bill.
Yeah. I forgot that he's...
I always forget that's him.
Yeah.
Right, he's so good though. He looks disgusting with that fucking starfish on his face.
And the barnacles and stuff.
Shout out to Dead Man's Chest, one of the best movies ever fucking made.
Bill Nye, but not the science guy.
Not the science guy.
Bill Nye is a great villain because he's also Jake the Snake in Rango.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Shit's fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love for my British
British dudes.
old British guys.
British
are
actors.
menacing. Well, not Stellan, obviously.
No,
but
he's Swedish.
Swedish. Old foreigners, they really do something for villain roles.
Stellan Skarsgård and PewDiePie are the only knowledge I
Swedes.
have of Sweden.
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
great. They're the founders of the country.
Yeah, they got together. They were like, "Hey, we should have a country," and they're like, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah. I'll do YouTube. You do
Look,
film.
I will bring my children, Alexander and Bill. I don't know if they're his children. I don't think they are. I think they're a different Skarsgård.
I think
right?
they're his children. They're of relation somehow, at least.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Skarsgård was a popular last name in Sweden. I don't know.
It very well could be. I don't know.
That's cool.
But I like to think that Stellan Skarsgård just had has like this whole I don't even know what you would want to call it.
Oh yes,
he is a whole bunch of children.
He is their poppy. He's got 7 kids. No, 8 kids.
8 kids.
And 2 of them are some of the most revered actors of now. I do love Alexander. I don't know much about Bill.
Bro,
other than
Pennywise.
Pennywise though,
he's pretty good
so
performance.
good.
Yeah.
Like,
I like him as Pennywise.
yeah. He doesn't phone it in.
He just needs his like Big Little Lies-esque role that Alexander had. Have you seen Big Little Lies?
I've seen Big Little Lies. Yeah,
I fucking love that show.
It's great.
So much. Yeah, even the second season, I felt like it wasn't as good, but like the performances were still like Meryl Streep anyway was really milking it. Laura Dern. I won't be. Wait, I cannot be fucking poor. I love it. Oh my gosh, boys! I feel like we've. I know that Spielberg was kind of the original topic in there, but I feel like we've covered a lot of films.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
I don't know why, but I just really felt like talking about everything.
Yeah.
Today.
I feel like our guest was the most appropriate choice to discuss everything under the sun of film.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
For sure. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have him on again for that PTA right
Yeah.
Our next director spotlight is gonna be PTA, and we're gonna rank his films.
And don't you worry, all the people who have been on the show, you guys
are coming
can
back.
be back
Don't
whenever,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But Saxon, for sure. Oh my gosh, it was such a pleasure to get to finally, because you've interacted with us on Twitter and have always been really knowledgeable and like I don't know, it's such a pleasure to get to sit down and fucking talk for 2 hours because this is going to be close to 2 hours.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
it flew by.
Longest episode yet. So that's cool.
It felt like hanging out to me. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem. Anytime. Come back all the time.
I think I see the CEO of Cokey-Coler. He's been very patient. We'll let him do an ad spot, I guess. This is our Coca-Cola sponsorship. This is very official, so please listen to everything this guy has to say. It's how we get paid.
Yeah.
Hello. Do you like to have a little buzz anytime during the day? Well, why don't you just crack open a nice ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now in cherry and vanilla.
And mango!
And they do 0. So does that mean there's no Coke in it?
There is no Coke in the Coca-Cola Zero. Oh, bye now!